Yeah, thank you for missing me. I missed you guys too. I was really sick. I was with my girlfriend. I got her sick too. So we just sat around having the chills and being sick as hell. And it was awful. I'm still a little sick.
Water-filled.
Okay, so here's one of the things about markets that I think took me a really long time to sort of figure out. You cannot assume that the prices that you're seeing are rational in the first place. Okay? So if you are looking at the market, okay, and you're sort of like, well, the market's processing information, right? That's what a market does. And it's been processing the information, and some new information, which I'll color orange, comes out. Let me color it green. The new information is good, okay? And the market goes up. Then some new information, maybe it's bad, and the stock market goes down. And then you get some bad information, but the stock market goes up. Okay, so your reaction to this normally is, I want to short this. And obviously, if we had good news and the market went down, you wanted to go long because the market's getting it wrong. It seems irrational. But the problem is that you're assuming all of these moves in the past were all rational. And that's just not the way the markets work. Sometimes the markets are really expensive. So if there's news, like they are now, so if there's news that the market's calling bad, but maybe you think it's neutral, I'll put it in yellow, but that has the market doing this. The reaction isn't, let me go buy everything. The reaction is, were these prices also overvalued? Is this a fair price? Is this a cheap price? Is this still expensive? Is it going to keep going down? The actual content of the specific news of that day that seems to have overlapped with the market going down didn't necessarily make the market go down. It might have coincided with it. So just try to be a little bit open-minded to these ideas. I think Deepseek definitely raises some questions about the requirements of purchasing all the NVIDIA chips and hoarding them. I think that there are going to be lots of companies that rethink that budget. It sort of shows you that bigger tech companies have a really nice position where they have tons of profits and they don't mind spending money. The Metas, Microsofts, oh man, the Googles, they're not in particular, too worried about a mistaken billion or two. And that, I think, is kind of one of the things that this shows. I think that stocks are pretty extended in the first place, so I definitely think the sell-off is, natural, makes sense. There's been a lot of froth in crypto and other spaces. So on Deepseek, I think their accomplishments are real. They're a pretty solid group. I think the market has been sort of led, if you will, in part by NVIDIA. So it's definitely concerning. We've talked about it for a long time that there are going to always be algorithmic improvements. People are going to gain insight on how to use these machines more effectively. So, anyone following this stream for a while knows how bearish I've been, and I feel like, NVIDIA's valuation could be put into question. So that means, part of the market gains can be put into question possibly as well. It doesn't mean that things are necessarily bad for other players, but typically, a contagion tends to strike across the board. So I don't know. I like OpenAI a lot. I think that OpenAI will be fine because it's one thing to make a model, it's another thing to make a product and to build a brand and to gain trust and to gain deployment. Call into question the valuation, not the financial statements. The valuation of the company has gotten to, $4 trillion, $3.5 trillion, as big as Apple, biggest company in the world. It is probably unrealistic. As much as I like the people at NVIDIA and the products, the stock is a different matter. It's a totally different question. Madrigal's at $7 billion, and they're FDA approved. So how much do we want to pay for Akiro? Probably not a whole lot more than this. Maybe the same amount. It's been really tough to buy Biotech after good news. It's like almost never worked.
The event-driven study and may go on to anywhere from 3 to 5 years. So I think over time we'll continue to see the benefit of the substantial efficacy. In terms of how we're going to adjust the study, I think these are really top-line data, and we're still working through that now, so I don't have a very good answer. But thanks very much for your question.
Thank you. Our next question comes from Eric Joseph with JP Morgan. Your line is open.
Good morning. Thanks for taking the question. And let me add my congrats on your data. Really impressive results. Really the data here, in the